This is why so many men feel criticized in marriage. Check this out.
I completely demasculated him. Nothing he did was ever good enough for me. I wanted it done my way. I wanted him to do it my way. Essentially, I want him to be me, but in a male version. I was like, look, this is exactly what it's supposed to look like. It's very clear.
So what this woman is acknowledging is what we call moralizing preferences. She had a certain thought process or standard on how certain things should be done or handled within the relationship, and she made it right, and thus she made him wrong. So let me give you some examples. There's no right way to load the dishwasher. There's not a right way to handle your finances. There's not even a right way to parent. Now, obviously, there's certain boundaries, like we're not going to abuse the kids, but there's lots of different methods of parenting that you could potentially choose from. So why do women so often make their way right and make their spouse wrong? Because we moralize our preferences. We assume that because this is what makes sense to me, this is what should obviously make sense to you. And we need to have a huge shift here where we recognize that we're not necessarily right, we're just different. Let me give you an example. You may have an individual who says, while I'm cooking, I want to be cleaning up the pots and pans and putting the spices away actively while I'm cooking, so the cleanup is done immediately. Next person might say, I want to cook, it'll be a big mess. The minute we're done with dinner, I will clean up the kitchen. The third person might say, we're going to have a great big old dinner, and in the morning, I will wake up, do the dishes, and clean up the whole kitchen. None of them are wrong. These are just different preferences, but we tend to think, well, the way that I want things done is better than your way, so I am right and you are wrong. And I'm not saying that sometimes men don't do this, but man, is this a theme among women especially, who really want their husbands to do things their way. Then you have a man feeling insanely disrespected, belittled, and criticized. So we need to come to the table differently and instead say, hey, here's my thoughts and here's why I like it. How would you like to do this? And we become an equal partnership of opinion, because your preference is not better just because it's yours. It's just different.